All right, we're going to switch gears now. We're joined by foreign affairs analyst Harley Lippman. Harley, I'm really looking forward to our conversation. Thank you for being here tonight, because you have said in the past that any new nuclear deal with Iran would be unverifiable, unenforceable, and ultimately dangerous. So in your mind, then, what are your thoughts on this preliminary framework of a deal being announced?
Well, like everyone, I'm happy to see that there's going to be closure. And of course, I hope I'm wrong, but there would have to be inspections anywhere, anytime. We would have to make sure that Iran will clearly honor this agreement. I'm sure everybody's relieved to know that Iran will not have a nuclear bomb. If indeed, as they always say, the devil's in the details, that this agreement ensures that that happens. And we have to make sure that if Iran violates it, what's in the agreement that would allow the United States to be able to address that? So I think that if the agreement is as what we're hearing, which is also that the Strait of Hormuz will open, the blockade will end, and lastly, that Iran will not give aid to their proxies, this could be a very good outcome for the region and for the world.
Well, I do want to dig into the details of what that verification process would have to look like in your mind. Regarding nuclear weapons, the president has said there would be strong inspections on the Iranians, but he didn't specify exactly how they'd work. This is War Secretary Pete Hegseth earlier today.
You'll have inspections, you'll have oversight, whether they're U.S., whether they're international, but it'll be a throttle set by the United States through our negotiators with the military and strength as the guarantor of this.
Are you saying that at the negotiating table, the United States is going to say the U.S. military has to go in and clean up the nuclear dust?
Well, I'm not going to say on a Sunday morning television program what we will or will not do in any context. We'll have all options on the table.
So, Harley, again, what in your mind does that verification process have to look like, especially if that said $25 billion in frozen assets is released?
Well, the IAEA, the International Atomic Energy Commission, has to be the ones who will go in and inspect. They're the worldwide experts on that. The United States has to be able to be part of it. And I think that as long as we have the ability to inspect it on the ground, and we have satellites that can see a lot. The good news is a lot of their nuclear material is entombed by the bombing of the United States. So it would be very difficult for Iran to get it. And so I think that there's a lot of room for encouragement here. But keep in mind who the Iranians are. They don't care about any peace agreements. They're ideologically against the United States, and they are still an existential threat to the United States. Their whole purpose for existing is to have jihad in the world, and they want to destroy the great Satan. And the danger is because we're so eager for closure, we're so eager for peace. You know, everybody's tired of this war, that we may be in a little bit of denial as we look into this agreement. So while we haven't seen all the details yet, as long as this agreement really provides for strong enforcement and for remedies if there is any breaking of this enforcement, I think is encouraging. I want to give the president benefit of the doubt. He's been saying for a long time they're close to a deal. Everybody was cynical. But he was right. They were really close to a deal. And I think it would have been surprising for him to say that if they weren't, because he obviously would look foolish if over time a deal never came about, but it did. So that gives us all hope. Now, when we look at the 24 billion of frozen Iranian assets released, I hope that's done in terms of the actions of Iran in compliance of the deal, that these would be released after that. So I think you have to have that in place, because obviously the Iranian economy was breaking. The naval blockade was working by the United States. Otherwise, Iran would not agree to this deal. So at the same time, we have to give the administration credit, because this economic blocking of the Strait of Hormuz by the United States Navy was successful. So it shows that the policy was working. So everybody's hopeful. If this works out the way we think it will, this will again have a very positive outcome for the region. And I think everybody's hopeful.
Right. And you and many others have acknowledged that a nuclear Iran would spark essentially an arms race all across the Middle East. So just to pull back for a moment, how high are the stakes in your mind in this 60-day negotiation period that's set to follow?
It's extremely important that we stay close to this and don't get fooled by Iran. They are master negotiators. They're among the best in the world. This is a people that invented chess, and they look to gain in the negotiating room what they didn't gain on the battlefield. And they sensed that President Trump was near desperate for a deal. So now the good news in that is they were also near desperate for a deal, and that's why we are seeing a deal now. But this is a regime that has murdered 40,000 of their own people. This is a regime that is the center of world terrorism. So we have to be aware of who they are. And most likely they're doing this for tactical reasons, but will take the long term strategically to think of ways to undermine the United States. They want to destroy Israel. They made that very clear. I don't see how they could pull that back. So as long as they cannot support their proxies, in particular Hezbollah, the Houthi in Yemen, and Hamas, the region has a real chance for an historic transformation that could make the world a lot safer and a lot better for not only people in the region, but everywhere in the world.
All right. Harley Lippman, we appreciate you weighing in tonight. A big evening, some big breaking news. Thank you, sir. Well, of course.
Thank you.